What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the greatest gaming podcast on the internet, the One Up Gamescast. I'm one of your hosts, Carl Sinclair, joined as always by my brother from another mother, the man with the plan, Master Chief in the streets, Master Cheeks in the sheets, Jack Gibb. How you doing, brother?
Doing pretty well, mate. How are things on your side?
Yeah, no, not too bad, not too bad. Hurt myself at work today, but other than that, I'm pretty good.
Glad you haven't hurt yourself enough not to be here.
Yeah, that's it. No, it's good. How are you?
I'm alright. I feel like gaming's hurt us this week, though. You know, speaking of hurt things, I feel like it's just been a rough one.
It's
need to go through it. You know?
It's not been a fun one. I'm not gonna lie, it's not been a fun one. Yeah, it's pretty sad. I mean, where do you want to start? Neither of them is good. So
Start with Apex.
Apex. Fill me in,
Mate. I don't know. So, season 22, I think it's 22, is coming out soon.
Jesus.
And yeah, I know it's a lot. Season 22, game's still kicking at least until season 22 launches.
Yeah.
So the only bit of information I know about so far, and there might be other things coming in season 22 to be fair, but the battle pass is changing. This is the big one. And there's a big blog post about it. I've read half of it, but they've kindly put a TLDR at the top. So I'm just going to read through that. And then if you think there's more we need to go down and investigate, we can do that. So, revolving the Apex Legends Battle Pass to improve your experience and progression goals. Alright, so they're doing it to improve things. The Battle Pass is now available per split. So it used to be 1 per season, now it's 2 per season. Players can earn the first premium Battle Pass during the first 2 weeks of Season 22. I don't know what that means, but anyway. Levels to obtain final key cosmetic items, like the reactives, dropped to 60 per Battle Pass. So instead of having 100 levels in the pass, there's now 60 in each Battle Pass. Rewards from past Battle Passes that frequently weren't being used have been removed. So I guess they've removed a bit of the junk, is what they're trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's always a few items that are just clearly filler and awful. I guess they're going. Or at least that's what they want us to think. Free track rewards refreshed with the following available across each of the seasonal split battle passes: 200 Apex coins, 7 Apex packs, spelled wrong, 1 complete epic set, and more. Premium track rewards refreshed with the following available per season pass: 2,400 CM. Oh, that's the crafting materials. 1,300 Apex coins, 10 exotic shards, whatever the fuck that is, various Apex packs, 1 reactive and 1 legendary weapon skin, 2 legendary and 3 epic legend skins, and 7 epic weapon skins, and more.
The exotic shards were the new things they added this season for you to be able to craft that knife.
Oh, okay, yeah, my bad. Good call. Twice as many. In summary, twice as many crafting materials and 3 more legendary/epic Apex packs per battle pass compared to the old one. And I guess you double that because there's 2 battle passes a season. New premium offering with additional rewards per battle pass. 10. Oh, this is like when you buy the premium version of the battle pass. So you get 10 levels. You get 2 premium plus legendary skin variants, which are exclusive for 1 year, so they will enter the shop eventually. 10 exotic shards, and all legends playable for the duration of the battle pass. So if you haven't unlocked everyone, you can play as everyone. Now, that in itself is a lot, and I don't know if I love it, but I would accept that so far. You know, one way or another, I would accept that. The 2 battle passes is a bit much for me. But I wouldn't be upset at that. I'd be like, okay, we're trying things, you know? Here's the kicker. For the standard edition of the Battle Pass, it is $10. American, I guess. And for the premium version, it is $20. The previous battle passes were Apex coins, so about the same price, but you could use Apex coins. These cost real money. You cannot use the in-game currency. The reason that sucks is because you earn in-game currency in the battle pass, so you cannot roll over that currency and purchase the next battle pass. So that summarizes it. There is a little bit more to it that's probably not... Well, I don't think it's worth diving into too deeply. But in general, the changes are double the battle passes and real money, not Apex coin. That would be the things that I think are the worst parts of it. So, after going through that, Kyle, what's your initial thoughts? How do you feel about it? And is there anything else you would like to add?
It's garbage, isn't it? Like, it's just fucking garbage. Yep. Like, this is EA clearly deciding one day that they weren't making enough money off Apex, and I think the kicker here, right, is that they say that they're doing this due to community feedback. As a member of the community, I know I wasn't one of the people saying, hey, you know, it'd be great if we had to spend more money mid-season. That would be really cool. If you could make it so we spend even more money than we already are, we'd love that. Oh, and just so I feel good about myself, make sure I have to spend money every season and I can't just get a battle pass with all the hard work I put in the season before. That'd be great. That'd be really
How
good.
many seasons a year? Is it 4 seasons a year? Is that
Yeah,
right?
4 or 5 seasons a year, yeah.
That's 8 battle passes a year times $10 USD. That's a full price AAA game every year. I mean, I know they've got to make money. I'm not naive to the fact that like servers cost money and the live servers in general cost money, and anything they ever do to the game, like a new map, a new legend, a new gun, costs money. I'm not naive to that fact. But they set the ground rules when they released the game. And
they make enough money.
I mean, surely.
And
I wouldn't say they're doing enough to make the game... Like, they're not... I would say they've fallen off the boat a little bit with some of the things, like, you know, like cheaters and server quality and things of that nature, right? Like, if all that stuff was, like, on the up and up, and then this came through, it would still be shit, but you'd be able to at least link that money to, like, an improvement in the game. Whereas I would argue, like, what's fucking improved lately? I don't know. Maybe that's a bit naive of me to say, but it just doesn't seem like it's, you know... It's not keeping up, you know what I mean?
There's really been there's been no improvement. There's been a lot of subtraction, to be honest. Like, there are things they've taken away that actually sort of make sense. Like, I think it's good we're not getting a legend every season now. That makes sense. I think getting one every season mixes up the meta way too much, and I don't know, you just don't want to overburden players with choice, which is exactly what they're doing with this battle pass. But you know, certain map changes have been bad, certain, you know, weapon changes have been bad, certain game modes that they've like moved around, brought in, taken out have been bad, you know what I mean? They took arenas away, and what they bought us in they never should have taken arenas away. They should have left arenas the way it was. They should have added the freaking party mode on top of it. Like, they're taking stuff away that they think our players are getting bored with. It's not that we're getting bored with it. The reason we get bored with these things is because that's all you give us. You know what I mean? You're not doing enough to make it like more worth logging in all the time, and giving us like more things to buy is not going to make us do that. Like, they can't turn around and say, oh, you know, like, Apex is a free game, they need to make money. They've clearly been making money. We're up to season 22, for fuck's sake. If the game wasn't making money, it wouldn't have made it past season 5. So clearly they've made a fucking profit on the game. Otherwise it wouldn't be around. This is EA. This is someone at EA who's high up and makes decisions, got on Twitter one day, and someone stupidly, I'm going to call him Billy thought it'd be fun to tweet, hey, you know what's crazy? Been playing Apex since day one. I've only ever bought the first battle pass. And they've gone, fucking what? What do you mean? And then they've gone back to headquarters and gone, this is bullshit. We need to make Billy pay for not one battle pass, but 2 battle passes a season. This is ridiculous. This is bad. Do you want to know what they should have done? Do you want to know if they really wanted to sort of like, if they really wanted to take community feedback into account, here's what you do, right? Here's what they should have done. So, normal battle pass, 110 levels, 2 reactive skins, 2 gold, and what you do is you take out the junk in the middle that no one wants, you chuck in regular Apex packs, or you chuck in legendary Apex packs as it goes along, chuck them in there, chuck in a couple of Apex coins up and down the middle. That's what you need to do. If you want to add more passes for people to buy, here's what you do. You have 3 events every single season. You've got like an heirloom event, you've got like an heirloom skin event, you have just a random event that goes on. Create battle passes, small battle passes for that event. Make them $10 each. And what you do is, instead of like having the event where it's like, hey, spend $150 on all these freaking cosmetics we've got, what you do is you have $10, $15 pass. You take all the purples from that collection event, you put them in that battle pass. All right, you put all the purples in there, and then what you do is you have all the golds. You buy all the golds, you get the heirloom. If you finish the pass, you get 25 heirloom shards. That's what you get for doing the event pass. And if you want to go that extra mile, you buy all them, you get the heirloom, you get the golds. That's what you get. And then eventually,
I feel like one gold pack that gets you one of the gold things from the store should also be in that battle pass.
Yeah, you could chuck that in there for sure. That could be like the I don't see like this pass being any more than 15 tiers, you know what I mean? So like that could be like tier 15 plus 25 heirloom shards.
You want it to be short enough that like no one's going to get halfway and the event ends.
Right.
Like, you really want people to be finishing that
Exactly. If you have 3 of them a season, right? Like, what is that? By the end, someone's got like, what is that? 75 heirloom shards for the year.
Oh, I see where you go with this. Right.
So eventually someone will have enough to be able to get an heirloom, and you're still making money off the people. You know what I mean? You're going to get your whales that go crazy and spend $150 on all the packs to get the heirloom. You're going to get your content creators that are going to do that. The people that are starting out in content creation that want to have all that fancy stuff. So when they put up a YouTube video, they got Bloodhound twirling around a neon pink fucking tomahawk. You know what I mean? Like that's what they want. But clearly they're trying to capture like the casual person who wants to pop in and out for things every now and again. You know, we'll have a battle pass every time they pop in. Just have an event pass. Have an event battle pass. $15. You can get everybody jumping in on that. I would buy a $15 event battle pass if I was jumping in. If it led to me getting like 25 heirloom shards and a freaking gold skin at the end of it, and all I have to do is sit there and play whatever the limited time mode is, or you know, complete challenges and all that sort of stuff, like I would do that. That makes way more sense than going, we're doing 2 battle passes a season. There'll be exclusive stuff in there. It'll get you access to this. By the way, we're not just having it, hey, you buy this pass. We're also doing a premium plus tier, so you can get extra stuff on top of that. Like I don't want a fucking Netflix subscription service where I can go ad free. You know, when I go in and I buy a battle pass, that gives me something to grind out for a season. You know, if COD did this, it'd be the end of the fucking world. People would be so fucking angry right now. It would be the end of it. You know, like people got mad when the freaking Black Soul was a thing. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, they've added fucking Call of Duty Plus. Like, yeah, they did. Well, you know, Apex has decided to add like 50 different things in one go, but I don't know. It just feels greedy. It feels wrong. It doesn't feel right. I don't know why they're doing it. I feel so sorry for Respawn because I can't see this as a decision that they made. But if it is, what the fuck? Like, what the hell? This is not the way.
I agree. Because there was a lot of layoffs on the Apex team as well recently, wasn't there? So I think the people that are still working on Apex, this is what they've been working on. Oh, that sucks. That really sucks.
That sucks, dude. And like those layoffs feel like a scare tactic. Oh, you guys don't like what we're doing? Well, this is what can happen. So you better say yes, and people aren't going to argue. It's their livelihood. You know what I mean? EA don't care. EA don't care. They'll threaten the employees, and then they'll you know, threaten their livelihood. And then what are they going to do? They're going to take the livelihoods of the people at home by offering more for us to spend our money on. Which like, here's the thing: if this battle pass thing comes out, they start making bank off it, and it leads to the game making improvements. If it leads to stuff like arenas coming back, people getting jobs in order to support a game that's continuing to grow, all right, cool. All right, awesome. You used the funds clearly. You had a plan. You've executed it. That's great. But I can't see it. I can't see it leading to anything good. All I can see it is they're gonna be making bank. They're gonna have some shitty fucking skins in those passes that people are going to like flaunt. Oh yeah, I got this like a year earlier than everybody else. Yeah, man, that's really cool. I'm glad you got that skin a year before they shut the game down. Good job, buddy. Like, it's just so, it feels like the first nail. You know what I mean? It feels like the first nail. Like, okay, like EA's done letting them do what they want to do now. Like, they clearly see Apex has become this massive thing, and that they clearly have let go about its own business, and now they want, you know, oh, well, you're not making enough money anymore. You know what I mean? It's time for you to make more money. Let's go. Let's make more money. And what a shit thing to do, man. Like, say what you want about battle passes. The one thing you could always say about a battle pass, like, Call of Duty does it still, you know, is that if you put in the time, if you put in the hours and you finish that battle pass, there was always that good feeling of like, hey, I'm ready for the next one. That's a great way of getting people to continue to play the game. That was the point, is if you finish a battle pass, you have enough in-game currency to get the next one. Don't fuck with the formula, you know what I mean? Battle passes themselves were a mess, were messing with the loot box formula, and I think we came out of it better for it, you know? This is them trying to mess with that formula again, and it just feels fucking grubby and disgusting and very EA. So I shouldn't be surprised, to be honest, but
it just feels like, and this is gaming in general, but it just feels like you know, like over the last few years in particular, the narrative has been like, this is how many people are playing our game. Like, Xbox has been very strong on this front. You know, Ubisoft's done it with Skull and Bones. You know, it happens, right? Where it's sort of the metric that they throw around. I think Capcom did it recently with that game we were talking about a week or two ago that's shutting down soon. Like,
Exoprimal.
You know, yeah, I think when it came out, they were talking more about how many people were playing it as opposed to how much money it made, right? And it just feels like that's sort of on the decline, because like with Apex, this feels like a very money decision, which is, I mean, every decision is a money decision to some degree, of course. But right now, literally just right fucking now, on a Friday night in Australia, Apex Legends on Steam is currently right now the 7th most played game right now. And like, that's on Steam. That's not on Origin where the game launched. That's not on Xbox, PlayStation. So like, it's not like there aren't people fucking playing it. You know what I mean? Like, there's plenty of people playing Apex.
Yeah.
I just can't picture this battle pass making them more money, but we'll have to wait and see. If it sticks around for season 23, then clearly we were wrong.
Well, that's
I
the
will not be
thing.
contributing to that, I can say.
I'll be interested to see how long it lasts for. I can't see it being a permanent thing.
Oh, I agree. I think they'll tweak it again. Season 22 launches in a few weeks, so I guess they still have time to tweak it a little bit, but I can't imagine they have a ton of time. You know what I mean? Like,
No.
4 weeks out, a lot of things are probably in motion there. But I'm sure they've been talking about it all week at the office, trying to figure out what the fuck to do.
I wonder if they were ready for this. Clearly they must have known that this was not going to be welcomed with open arms.
This comes across as one of those things where the people that don't have the job title to make a decision, or would have known this to get a fucking destroy themselves. But the people who have the job title that can make the decision, we're probably just hoping it'd be fine. You know?
Yeah.
They're not the ones reading Twitter and reading the blog comments and whatever, so I don't know. That's just, yeah, classic business right there. Not in a good way. Shall we move across to Xbox?
Yes, let's do it. Let's do it, man.
So, we discussed on the podcast a few months ago. Sorry, not a few months ago, a few weeks ago, after the Xbox conference at E3 Summer Games Fest. You know, they were on a high, and we sort of discussed, you know, late July, August, they'll step on a break. You know, it always happens. Like, they always fuck something up in August. And my friend, it's Christmas in July. They've moved it forward. They're a little bit early, but they have stepped on that rake. 2 rakes. I'll give you 2 rakes today.
Mm-hmm.
The first rake is an interesting one. I don't think it'll be a rake in the end, and I don't think they think it'll be a rake. but there's definitely parts of Twitter and stuff that want it to be a rig. And this is that Xbox Cloud Gaming is now available on the Amazon Fire TV stick, much like it's available on the Samsung TVs and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine, right? That's cool. But then they released an ad that says, basically says if you don't have an Xbox, you're like, no problem. I mean, like, you don't have to have a console to play Xbox. And it all makes a lot of sense, but I think it's going to be memed into like, no Xbox, no problem, but not explain that cloud gaming's a thing. So that's Rake 1. I think that one will be fine in the end. Rake 2, though, I feel like is a bit more significant. It is changes to Game Pass.
Okay.
Right? And some of it is simply price increases, which, you could argue is shit, but, everything's going up at the moment, so I don't know what's one more fucking thing at this point. But I think the changes to the way it's structured are far more annoying and weird. So I'm probably going to start there.
Okay.
So Game Pass going forward from September is going to come in 4 flavors, is my understanding, right? So there'll be Game Pass Core, there'll be Game Pass Standard, there'll be Game Pass Ultimate, and there'll be Game Pass for PC. Now, that's not... I think that's exactly what they call now, to be fair. I don't think that's too crazy.
Yeah, that's what they call it.
But what you get in each service is getting a bit mixed up. So Game Pass Core is what replaced Xbox Live Gold. And that is sort of staying somewhat the same, I think. So you get the online play on the console. You get a group of 20 or 30 games to play. And you get some discounts or, deals with gold, whatever the fuck it used to be called. So I think that's staying the same. It's $10 USD. I don't know exactly how much it is in Australia, but that all seems fine, normal. That was a bad decision last year, and that remains a bad decision this year. Then we have Game Pass Standard. This will now, to my understanding, be a price increase, and will also include Game Pass Core within it, is my understanding. The difference being to Core is you get access to the Game Pass catalog.
Mm-hmm.
However, you will no longer get new releases on day one. They will come later, between 6 and 12 months later, is what I've heard. And it's not going to be consistent. So as in, for some games it'll be earlier, for some games it'll be later. Then we have Game Pass Ultimate. That, to my understanding, staying about the same, except the price is going up a few dollars. In Australia, it's going to be $24. In America, it's going to be $20, which does translate to $30 Australian. So it does feel like we're actually getting an alright deal, even though it's going up annoyingly. And then Game Pass for PC, I think, staying roughly the same. So that's the simplest understanding I have. So basically, prices are going up, and Game Pass Standard is getting absolutely butchered to the point where I don't even think it should exist. Does that all sound about right to you?
Yeah.
Do you have any initial thoughts? Is this healthy, or is it convoluted, or just business? What are your thoughts?
I think that I think
It's just classic Xbox, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, but I think controversially, this isn't as bad as people think it's going to be. I honestly think they should just get rid of Game Pass Standard, to be honest.
I agree.
I think it should just go.
The problem is the history of Game Pass. Like, if you force the people that are on that to go to Ultimate, they'll think they're getting ripped off if they don't play PC. But I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's right. But they've sort of dug themselves this hole with some of this stuff. I feel.
I mean, the problem is, right, is people need to look at this from a Netflix point of view, right? Like, you pay for Netflix, you pay. Okay, so what you mean is, like, people paying for Ultimate are going to feel like they're getting ripped off because they're not essentially playing those games on PC, right?
That would be my worry.
Right. They need to get over it because they pay for Netflix, but I bet hardly even watch it on their phone.
Yeah, that's a really good
Do you know what I mean?
comparison.
Like Netflix, you pay for Netflix and you can watch it across all these different things, but I guarantee you're spending way less time watching on your phone or your computer than you are on your TV. You know, like that's what people need to take into account. Paying for Ultimate is not being like, oh, I'm getting less because I don't play on PC. No, you're getting more because you have that option. It is just another option for you to take advantage of the service, which is exactly what Netflix does with their service. You have the option to watch it on multiple different devices and multiple different screens. Game Pass is the same. You have the option to play it on multiple different devices. I think people are going to be like, oh man, now we're going to pay more to play games day one. I mean, yeah, but you need to look at the alternative. Look at PlayStation Plus Deluxe. For $22 a month, you ain't getting that games day one. You know, you're not getting brand new releases day one. You're only paying $2 more to play Fable day one, guys. Chill the fuck out. It's $2. You know what I mean? Like, for a time there, you were getting freaking Game Pass for $1. You know, like, just chill the fuck out. Like, it's $2 more than a service that has, in my opinion, it's an inferior service that doesn't offer the same things that Game Pass is offering you. The only problem now that you're having is Game Pass is now going to start charging what is probably a more fair price for what they're offering. And I think the honeymoon period is over, and I think we need to accept that maybe this is something that was always on the cards. It's just maybe we had the honeymoon a little bit longer than we should have. I think Game Pass Standard needs to go. Game Pass Core is fucking dumb, but probably needs to be there for people that don't really care about Game Pass. I understand that. Makes sense. So don't have it in 4 different flavors. Have it in 2 flavors. You know what I mean? Have it in Core, Ultimate.
I think that's where I'm sort of expressing that they're still on a rake here, is because they've just made it so complicated.
It doesn't need to be complicated. I don't know why they do this shit. Like, there doesn't need to be, like, it's like we just spoke about it with Apex. There doesn't need to be 15 different ways to get the same fucking content, you know? Like, you only need to give them one of 2 options. Cheap, pay. Cheap, pay. That's it. Free, premium. That's why Battle Pass is always great. You play that, you get a free Battle Pass, you get a premium Battle Pass. If you finish the Battle Pass, hey, go for the premium. You know what I mean? Like, if you want that little bit extra, it's available to you, right? Game Pass needs to follow that same road. You know, like, hey, you got Core, play online. But for Ultimate, you can play all these games as well as playing online. Like, that just makes sense. Instead of being like, you know, Core, Standard, Ultimate, PC, like, oh god. I think the reason Game Pass Ultimate PC exists is for the same reason you were saying before, you know what I mean? It feels like it makes Ultimate sound so much better when PC is also in it, you know? Like, hey, PC comes under this umbrella. It's like, no, it's just don't overcomplicate things.
Yeah, look, I think initially it was sort of like, we're not going to be able to get PC gamers without an Xbox to buy Game Pass Ultimate when most of the games were on. Because on day one, the library on PC was like a third or a quarter of the size of the Xbox One.
Yeah.
So back then, I can't fault them for the decision they made back then.
Makes sense back then, but if you're going to evolve it like you did like this week, that was the perfect opportunity to just get Game Pass PC out of there. You know what I mean? Like,
I think you nailed it on the head a few comments ago, where it's like there just needs to be 2 levels. There's Game Pass, and there's the Xbox Live Gold thing that... look, we could also have the debate whether that should exist or not, but let's just assume that needs to exist. That they should have never called it Game Pass Core, but like, yeah, there needs to be some sort of low-level Xbox service to keep the thing running, and then just Game Pass. I don't know why there's at least tiers. It's the same with every fucking Microsoft product, whether you need OneDrive storage or some Outlook bullshit. Like, it's just... it's so complicated, and gamers can understand a lot of complicated shit, but they do not really want to complicate things. Like as in, we can understand complicated games, we can do complicated,
yeah,
but we just want to get there easily. We just want to be able to turn like the console on, play the damn game, not worry about what's here on day one, what's not here on day one. Like, just and this is probably the other thing that's kind of, I think, not great, is Game Pass. The biggest selling point has been the day one game releases, and I don't think, you know, for years Microsoft has under-delivered on that promise. They're finally finally starting to deliver on that promise, and Game Pass Standard loses that feature. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, just scrap the whole of Game Pass Standard then. Don't even fuck around with this, like, multi, it'll come a year later bullshit. It'll come to Game Pass Standard the day it comes to PlayStation. It's going to be the thing going forward, I dare say. I don't know. Like, this is the other thing, right? I've had Game Pass for years. Even on the holiday, the years when Xbox's releases are quite light on for me, I've still been a subscriber. I don't, if people who aren't into COD are just going to see this as like the COD tax.
Mm-hmm.
The prices have gone up to accommodate for COD. That's probably true. If you don't play COD, you've just been, sort of just been fucked, right? So I feel like just this timing on this just doesn't feel great. You know what I mean? Like I feel like we nearly needed a year to enjoy the promise of quarterly game releases that are massive, COD, a few other things, just to enjoy Game Pass for what it was meant to be for a little bit. But to be fair, Ultimate's just gone up a few dollars. It's not the service is changing for Ultimate. But I do feel for anyone that was on the standard Game Pass, I feel like they have been done a little dirty here.
I feel like the price increase was a way to get COD onto, because I can see them being like everyone has a boss. Phil has a boss, for fuck's sake, and I feel like them being like, oh, we want to put Call of Duty on Game Pass day one. They would have been like, no, we're going to lose money on that. All right, well, how about to offset that? We up the price of Game Pass. I feel like that was the linchpin in order to make Call of Duty and probably all the CODs and all these Activision games and all this other stuff, because there's rumors that the rumor mill on games coming to Game Pass that are from the Activision catalog are insane. Licensed titles that are have been lost to the ethos are apparently coming. All these Transformers games that have just been lost to time are apparently coming in Game Pass very soon, and all this other stuff. So I feel like this price increase, right now we look at it going, what the fuck, it's the COD tax. It may not be the COD tax, it may be the Activision tax. It may be, hey, we're going to bring all these licensed titles. Hasbro's going to need to get a kickback from that, and Hasbro aren't the sort of company that are going to be happy with $1 here, $1 there. They're going to want substantial amount in order to have these licensed titles on this platform. But it's all these titles that people want, you know what I mean? Xbox are at this crossroads. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. People being like, oh, now they have Activision, they can put all these great freaking games on there. Well, yeah, well, a lot of people like Transformers. Not everybody does. A lot of people love COD. Not everybody does.
There's got to be something for everyone.
Yeah, there's got to be an offset. It looks like a couple of dollars to pay for COD, but no, it's probably going to be a couple of dollars to pay for Transformers, a couple of dollars to pay for, Crash, a couple of dollars to pay for Call of Duty. It's going to be spread across a whole bunch of different people's wants and needs. But it's gonna sting for the person that just wants COD, that just wants this, that just wants that have to pay that little bit more.
There was rumors as well that they were going to clean up the old CODs, clean up the multiplayer servers and things like that. If they do that for all the other Activision games, the same level of let's clean things up, let's keep servers online. Yeah, it's not going to be a cheap activity.
Imagine this could be what they need to bring these things back. I'm just using it's not just I'm just using Transformers as an example. It's one of the many sort of things that they can bring. But
of course,
War and Fall of Cybertron, in my opinion, are some of the greatest Transformers games ever fucking made. They have multiplayer that is effectively dead. Games Pass could be the thing that brings that back. People looking at it dead game's dead. No, if Game Pass brings in an influx of players that are experiencing it for the first time, old game is old, man. Those games are it's crazy to say, these are games I grew up playing, but they're fucking ancient compared to stuff that's going on right now in the multiplayer space. If that was a way to bring these games back, reignite interest in the multiplayer, then yeah, we're gonna have to pay that couple of dollars extra on Games Pass in order for them to maybe have to reinvigorate a multiplayer server that's effectively dead. There's nobody at High Moon looking after the War and Fall of Cybertron multiplayer servers anymore. You know, like those servers are gone. Like if people want them back, like yeah, people are gonna have to pay for it. High Moon's gonna have to stop working on a Call of Duty game and actually go back and work on something that they made themselves, which is actually pretty good. This could invigorate them to be like, hey, High Moon, you want to make a third one? Yeah, we want to make a third one. There is a third one. I know there's a third one. People in the comments, I know there's a third one, but it's not a third one. I do not count that as a third one. I do not. Rise of the Darkspark, dude, is dog shit. Do you know about this Transformers game?
Oh, not enough to comment.
Okay, cool. Side tangent real quick. War of Cybertron was a game that came out and was way better than it had any right to be. Like, it was like so High Moon were like, we're making a Transformers game. And when back in those days, it was like this was a game that was announced in the height of the Bayverse. You know what I mean? Like this was around the times of like Dark of the Moon, you know what I mean? Like this was like, oh, it's just going to be a shitty license game. Anyway, they start dropping like developer insight videos. I used to love that shit. You go out, you buy a PlayStation magazine, come with a disc on the front, you chuck that disc in your portable DVD player, and you watch along. And there were these great developer videos and stuff of like, hey, we went back and we looked at what makes Transformers great. We looked at G1, we looked at evolving Generation 1 Transformers. And then they thought, what was the most pivotal thing of G1? You know, arriving on Earth, you know, interactions with humans and all that stuff. Well, we thought, well, they never really got to explore everything that came before G1 outside of like some episodes of the show and some comic books. So like, let's make a video game. So effectively, War of Cybertron is the ending of the war, effectively in video game form. Like it's on Cybertron. There is no human. It's all Transformer. It's all on the planet. It's all about the planet that we hear so much about and see in the movies, and that planet gets the shit kicked out of it in those movies. But yeah, it was really cool. It was great. It was like Optimus being Optimus, you know, Bumblebee before, like when he could talk. Like it was like all these really cool moments about like the battle for this planet, and it was really good. It was so much better than it had any right to be. Of course it was going to get a sequel. We got Fall for Cybertron. So Fall for Cybertron is all about the evacuation of the planet. You know, the war's done. The planet's fucked. We need to get off. It's about the Autobots getting to the Ark and getting off the planet. And it's about Megatron trying to stop them from getting off by any means necessary. Like, you know, in his mind, if the planet's going down, we're all going down with it. Like, no one gets to leave. And it was really good. Like Metroplex was in it. It was sick. There was like Dark Energon was such a pivotal thing in that game. It introduced the Dinobots, why they were the way they were, who they were before they were the Dinobots. It was real cool. Grimlock, you got to play as Grimlock. It was so, like, people talk about Star Wars Episode 1, and one of the things that they wish wasn't spoiled in their first trailer was Darth Maul's double-ended lightsaber. Such like imagine the orgasms in the theater if people hadn't seen that in the trailer. I'm one of those guys that's like, imagine if the freaking Fall of Cybertron trailers didn't ruin the fact that you were gonna get to play as Grimlock. Like if that level just started, and the way it starts is so good. Like it starts out and all this other stuff, and you're playing as Grimlock, and then suddenly you get to like rage out, and you do that first transformation into a T-Rex, and you're like, oh my fucking god, this is like everything I wanted and more. I wish the trailers and everything before hadn't spoiled that. Stupid fucking trailers. But you know, they got to sell the game, and selling that you were going to get to play as Grimlock, great way to do it. So Fall of Cybertron comes out, so much better than the first game. What a freaking awesome freaking like ending. Hey, they got off the planet. What could possibly happen next, right? So then a couple years go by and we get a trailer for Transformers, right? I think it was called Rise of the Darkspark or whatever. I didn't really care. Do you know what they did to my franchise, mate?
What did they do? They
tied it in to I think it was the 4th or 5th Transformers movie. I think it was the 4th one. I think it's Age of Extinction they tied it into. So basically, Rise of the Darkspark, the game starts and just bastardizes everything that those games did before. Sort of plays like the last two, but really doesn't. Has all the movie characters, has the movie designs, has all that all that movie crap in it, right? And then a couple of levels in, it does a thing where it goes, oh, let's explain the Darkspark, and then it goes back to the art style of the Cybertron games, like War and Fall. It goes to that art style and takes those awesome design characters and puts them in poorly designed levels with like people that clearly just didn't want to be doing what they were doing, and it's just so fucking sad. Like, it was clearly that transition point of like, it's like what they're doing with Apex. It's like, hey, love what you've been doing over there, really love what you're doing. We kind of need this next game to make money, like lots of money, so we want you to take the movies and basically make a really shitty movie tie-in game that has nothing to do with the movie, is definitely set in your universe. It really isn't. And then, yeah, so basically what they did was they said, hey, these games are now canon to the Bayverse. And it's like, we're going to take that awesome story you guys told, and that's our story now. So you guys are going to tell the story we want told. And it's like, this is set after the 4th movie, and it's like, Lockdown's alive again, and he's after the Darkspark, and it's like, fuck you guys. It's so bad. It's so bad.
I didn't know they did all that. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it was disgusting. It's so bad. And then Transformers games died after that. They completely died.
Yeah, no doubt.
And then they announced a new one called it was like Reactivate or Reactive or something like that. Reactivate, and that's gone fucking radio silent. Like, that's completely gone radio silent, and that had such a cool premise. Like they did a trailer. It was a Keeley show. They dropped a trailer where like basically humans reactivate a transformer, right? You remember that trailer where it was like clearly a war had happened, and then this transformer goes dark, and then it gets reactivated by humans, and the humans are like, oh, we got to figure this out. Yeah, you remember that? The premise for that game is so good. So there was a war, and we lost. Like, so there was a war. There was this random entity, and basically, this is stuff that's like just not like, you needed to be in the Discord or get the newsletter, or be like watching developer deep dives. But the premise for Reactivate was a foreign entity came to Earth, and the Decepticons and Autobots had to team up in order to fight off this entity that came. We lost. So humanity, Decepticon, Autobot lost. All the Autobots, all the Decepticons deactivated. There was some sort of like big cataclysmic event that basically ended it all. And humanity has been trying to find a way to reactivate the Transformers for the longest time. And in that trailer was the reactivation of the first Transformer in, I think it's set like 10 or 15 years after this event happens. And that Transformer that gets reactivated in that trailer is Bumblebee. And now Bumblebee needs to work with the humans, and then you're reactivating Transformers across the globe in order to fight back against this entity. And it's just gone dark. Like, no one knows what happened to this fucking game. No one knows if this game is ever coming out. There's been no updates on this game for over a year. It's mental. For a game that has such an interesting premise and such a cool, like story that could be told. Crazy. So yeah, hopefully Game Pass is called Transformers Reactivate or Reactive or something like that. So yeah, just to loop it all back around. So yeah, hopefully Game Pass being a little bit more expensive leads to these games coming back and people enjoying them, and maybe making Xbox realize, oh, maybe we need to put resources into this Transformers game that's just been sitting stagnant, because people really want a good Transformers game.
I just had a bit of a...
I need a drink, man.
Honestly,
I'm dry. Jesus. Sorry.
I had a look before you started talking about Transformers. I just had a quick look on Wikipedia at like the list of Activision games, and the list in the 80s, noughts, and 2010s is like, massive fuck off list you got to scroll through of every license on planet Earth, whether it's fucking Shrek, Tony Hawk, How to Train a Dragon, you name it, it's fucking. Did I just scroll past Build-A-Bear Workshop Friendship Valley on Wii? I mean, if there was a game we made, they were fucking...
And the DS.
You're right. Actually, sorry, made by a different developer, though.
Yep, the DS one was better.
There you
Not
go.
that I played it.
The people that made that for DS are called Pasta Games. So,
Built a bear with a stylus. It was pretty sick. Not that I played it.
So huge list of games, right?
I had sisters.
But then I clicked like on like 2020 to present, and it's like Call of Duty, Tony Hawk, Sekiro, Crash, Call of Duty, Tony Hawk, Call of Duty, Crash, Call of Duty.
Every studio's on COD.
Look, I want to make the statement that I hope Xbox allows some other games to be made. But my problem is, I'm guessing almost every studio that used to make these games is gone, or has been reconfigured, gutted. You know, like is some of these studios that made the Transformers games, even if they're around, like are you able to just say to them now, make a Transformers game and they'll fucking knock it out of the park? Like I don't know, you know. I think Xbox. I don't know how Xbox should do it. I'm not clearly an expert here, but I hope at the very least, the worst case scenario, I just hope that this IP is unlocked for all the Xbox studios to get in on. Maybe that's the way we sort of unlock a few things, you know, because it's quite sad to look at this list. I just learned while scrolling through Wikipedia as well. A couple of weeks ago, I was talking about the game, The Movies, like the Tycoon game. That was actually published by Activision. It was made by Lionhead, but I don't know, just it was published by Activision. Didn't know that. So that game's now under Microsoft. You know, there we go. I would love a sequel to that. Would be beautiful. But yeah, I don't know. It's sort of sad to look at that list. And the other sad part is like we're sitting here. So you know, Xbox has an extra $48 per subscriber now to go and pump into Game Pass. But so many of these games are licensed. Mm-hmm. Like, you're gonna have more trouble with the licensing side than the actual technical side, aren't you? I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not like How to Train a Dragon can't be, you know, there's obviously people that own that you can talk to, but it's that's gonna be where shit gets a bit complicated, unfortunately.
Oh man, I hope they put the Shrek games on Game Pass, bro. Bring back the old Shrek games. Shrek 5's coming out in 2026. They need help, not us. Put fucking Shrek 2 on Game Pass, boys. Let's make it happen.
I couldn't agree more. And I mean, that's the thing. Like, there's still people that make Shrek, so go talk to them. Like, as in, from a legal point of view, there's someone to talk to. I fear for some of the older games, there just might not be anyone left to talk to, you know. The Disney Tarzan game. I reckon I played that.
That game fucks.
But it is Disney, you know? Like, you can just talk to Disney. So, yeah, I don't know. It's... There's a lot to do, and now that I've looked at this list, oh my god, Activision made Toy Story Racer. There's a lot to do, a lot of legal stuff, I imagine, but you know, it's been nearly a year now, or whatever. Hope we start seeing some fruits of this labor soon.
They need to,
and that's the thing, if they're going to put the price up in September, I kind of need a little something in September to make this sort of go down, all right? You know what I mean? Like if in September they're like, hey, here's 6 Activision games that you probably want on Game Pass. That'd be nice.
I can see them beginning the dropping of COD games. Because
didn't
they drop a mad rumor that like next week that Modern Warfare 3 is going to be available on Game Pass?
I did see that rumor.
Yeah.
Every time we've had this conversation, we've always discussed going sequentially in order, like from start with COD 1. But yeah, maybe they'll go backwards. Maybe that's easier. Like as in... Maybe like COD 3. I imagine getting Modern Warfare 2, or 3 or whatever on Game Pass wouldn't be technically a challenge at all.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it's like, oh, Modern Warfare 3. Wouldn't surprise me if they're like, hey, we're dropping Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, right? We're dropping that because they're like the latest. You know what I mean? Like, give them the opportunity to play that trilogy of story in one go. But I can see them being like, all right, cool. Like, now we're just going to start dropping like classic stuff. I can see them dropping the first 3 CODs.
Now, at the very least, now is the time to get like Black Ops 1 and 2 out. I feel, and Cold War. Like, you know, I don't know.
They need to make that an event, you know. I feel like they need to make that an event. Like, they need to be like, hey, like, they need to space it out over 2-week periods in the lead up to Black Ops 6. Like, they need to be like, boom, Black Ops 1, 2 weeks, Black Ops 2, 2 weeks, Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, Black Ops 5, and then boom, Black Ops 6.
Well, they'd want to get fucking started soon.
Yeah. They need to do that. I think that'd be really good. They won't though. They'll drop it in like bunches. I can see them dropping like 1, 2, 3, 4, Cold War, and then 6.
If they started doing some stuff like this, I think the price hike would be a forgotten thing very quickly.
Yeah, they just need to justify it. They need to do what they haven't been doing with their acquisitions and justify it so much faster than they already have.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Could not agree more. Bloody Xbox. If they could just name something correctly, I feel like half their problems would be solved.
Xbox Series bullshit. You know what I mean? That's all. Xbox, a series of bullshit. Like, that's literally what it's felt like these last few years, man. Oh, man. You know what?
I hate how much I agree.
PlayStation need to start dropping their titles day one. Because like that, like
it's so funny. Like
$22 deluxe, man. Jesus.
This is the thing. I think this is a problem. It's always like, is this just what the gaming community feels or the mainstream feels? I don't know. But I think PlayStation, look, they're having a rough year this year, and last year's a bit light on. Like once they start releasing games again, I think they'd be able to knock Game Pass like 1 for 1. Like as in, I think they'd be able to stand alongside it and be just as good a quality. You know, don't get me wrong, you know, there'll be certain aspects they get better and worse or whatever, but on average, I think they could stack up with Game Pass. But it must be a massive risk for them compared to Microsoft, because if Xbox starts going downhill at worst, Xbox, like Microsoft can just close them down. But I don't think Sony has that luxury. I'm not saying I want Xbox to close down, I'm just saying that, like, from Microsoft's investment point of view, at worst, I'll just sell Activision back to someone else or, you know, send it off or whatever they do. Whereas I feel like for PlayStation, maybe it's a bit more of a risk. And as we're looking with Game Pass, I mean, you know, the fact that the price is going up sort of tells us that it's reached some limits somewhere. So, I don't know.
I know. I think PlayStation are starting to learn though. I think looking at just look at Concord. It was a pre-order only beta that's now turned into, if you got PlayStation Plus, you can play. But what does that say? Does that say pre-orders are bad? Or does that say they're trying to be more player forward?
My initial thoughts was about the pre-orders being bad only because it's not like the world's changed in the last 2 months. Like, as in, they should have been player forward and done it for Game Pass for PlayStation Plus members from the get-go. You know, like that.
Yeah.
Like, how did they not fucking think of that?
Poor Concord. Concord's trying.
Poor
Concord.
Oh, I hate how much hate it gets because I feel like they're really trying. The people making that game give a fuck.
Yeah.
But it's been sent out to die.
Yeah.
Hope I'm wrong though.
We'll know after this weekend.
Well, I don't have PlayStation Plus, so I think I might have to subscribe.
Man, get on it. Because I don't know what EB's done with my freaking codes. I sent him a message today, so hopefully something comes of that. But yeah. Weird. Very weird.
Can you imagine if they've just stopped doing the pre-order codes? Because he's just assume everyone's on PlayStation Plus.
Oh, dude, imagine, dude. That's crazy. That's I could see EV doing some stupid shit like that. I could totally see them being that freaking stupid. They do dumb shit all the time, but yeah, no. Well, mate, we have waffled on for quite some time. Thank you very much, mate, for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
And ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening. If you want to keep up to date with everything we're doing here at 1UP, head over to oneupgames.com. Or if you're on YouTube right now, head down below. There's links to everything we're doing. And if you're here on YouTube, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. But yeah, those are going to do it from us this week, guys. Thank you so much for listening. We really do appreciate it. We will be back next week with more gaming goodness. Until then, may all of your games be good ones, and we will catch you guys next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.